Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of Games Over Plastic. This is a very special episode. Not really a topic one, not like a dedicated list topic or a draft or anything crazy that the usual shenanigans we're usually up to. But we will be covering one of my beloved companies. We're going to be covering Nintendo, specifically the Nintendo Direct that focused on Switch 2, because we got a lot of information, including prices and release dates and games and various things. And oh boy, there's a lot of discourse online that is kind of I'm seeing a lot of different arguments, a lot of us in support for it and not in support for it. It's very tumultuous. But before we get into that, I am joined, as always, by my two lovely co-hosts. First, we're joined by the usual first chair of this podcast. It's Midnight, not Sunlight, but Midnight. Midnight, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here on this fantastic Nintendo event. I actually have the Switch 2 early. It's right here. You can see the Switch 2 right there, a little bit early. Oh crap! Hold on. Let's see. Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm going to be playing that. I'll let you know how it is. But I'm excited.
I love it. Love to see that. You got the early deets.
Yeah, man. And see, that's Games Over Plastic. We have influence here, boys. But I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about some Nintendo.
All right. Thank you. And as always, we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the man who has a Bucky's beaver on his microphone. That is Hodge.
Hello. If I sound a little weird, I've been sick for 2 days, so I am just kind of getting over it. I get really bad allergies in the spring and fall, and sometimes it just I don't know, it just leads to me being sick somehow. I don't know how it works, but I've been just downing cough drops and Sudafed and stuff trying to get better. But I did not want to miss this episode of talking Nintendo Switch 2. We've been very hyped for this reveal, and did it live up to it? We will see. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
You know what you need, Hodge? You need two things. You need some Zyrtec, first of all, for your allergies. That's the strongest over-the-counter. And second of all, you need to coat that throat, baby. You need some throat coat. I got some right here.
Did you really buy that?
Dude, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, I bought it.
Is that like a new thing? Because I keep hearing
it's been around for a while, but recently Maddie started talking about it a lot.
Oh, okay, that's a DD thing.
Maddie,
everyone's talking about throat coating, and I'm like, what is happening?
But it's been around for a while. It's just a herbal tea that's good when you have a sore throat. It'd probably be good for you. It's got some herbs.
Yeah, maybe I could try it. I'm not huge on tea, but it might be good. I don't know.
Too American for that.
America. Yeah, I pour mine in the harbor.
Up in my stomping grounds here in Massachusetts.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, before we get into things, and I just want to say, this is Games Over Plastic. Obviously, it's a podcast and a YouTube video. You guys can subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you get podcasts. Leave us 5 stars. Leave us a review. do some write-ins. We have plenty of write-ins, but we're always looking for more. If you hate us, tell us you hate us, because good news is bad news is good news.
Please do. That would be funny. We love the negative comments.
Oh, I love it. I love when people say they hate me.
Dude, my old podcast, it took 3 episodes before I got a write-in just saying I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, yay! I already have hate mail. I've made it.
I made it. All right, so let's get started with what we were playing, like we always start with every episode. And we're going to start with Hodge today. We're going to start with our boy, Hodge, who's playing a couple of pretty interesting games, I would say.
Yeah, I haven't been gaming too much recently. I've been busy. I've just been keeping up with so yesterday I hopped back into Fortnite. I'll start with that one first. Just because I hadn't played in forever, and I saw that season 3 of the OG map has started, which was basically like peak Fortnite. That is when it was at its best, I think. through the next couple seasons after that as well. But that's like 3 is right when I got like addicted to it. So me and a couple buddies hopped in and we're like, screw it, I haven't played in like a couple months really. So I was like, yeah, screw it, let's just hop in. And we won 6 straight games. So we're like, all right, we're back. But so that was fun. I don't have much else to add to it. Obviously,
Does that have Loot Lake and
yeah,
Dusty
Loot Lake,
Depot or whatever?
Dusty Depot, Tilted Towers. Yep, it's the OG. Junk Junction. Yeah, Moisty Mire.
You hear that, little kids? All you little kids listening from school?
Yeah,
Hodge is the real Fortnite pro.
Yeah,
6 straight dubs. On God, for real. Straight busting.
God, yep. Straight busting.
Type shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that. It was fun to hop back in with my buddies, and it felt like I mean, our first game was mostly bots, because if you don't play for 2 weeks, you come back as like a inactive, so it kind of throws you in a bot lobby. Even though there are real people, it's just mostly bots, just to kind of let you get the feel back. So the first one doesn't really count. We did obviously have to kill real people to win the game, but they're not the ones who are always playing. But after that, it throws you right back into normal lobbies, and so we earned the rest of them. But yeah, I'm almost done with Kingdom Hearts. I've been playing that. I've been very happy to get back to the Portal. Speaking of when we talk about Switch, just being able to do the handheld while I'm sitting there watching TV, or if I feel like going to lay down in bed or something, just being able to flip on the Portal and play some Kingdom Hearts has been awesome. Yeah, I just finished Hollow Bastion, so I'm pretty much near the end of the game. Just gotta go to the next world and do some more tournaments at the Coliseum and stuff, and I'll be done. But yeah, as everyone knows, I just love this game. It's such a delight. And it's crazy because I'm 13 hours in and I'm almost done with it. So I'm like, hey, I forgot how quick and easy this game is. But when I get done with it, it'll be just in time for South of Midnight, which I'm very excited to try. Even though it's funny, people are acting like it's this terrible game and it has a 75 on Metacritic. I'm like, that's not bad. It's in the green. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why people are kind of. It's the Xbox tech. Let's be real. If Xbox doesn't put out a 90, it's a fail. So, what
78 on OpenCritic, by the way. So
yeah, see, that's a good rating. Yeah, so I'm excited because and really, this game, even if the gameplay isn't like amazing or whatever, I've been wanting to play it because of the art style. That's what's really selling me on this game. So, as long as it's not a slog, I'm okay with it not being like revolutionary gameplay. I just want to play a cool game in a cool setting and with a cool story. So, I just hope it meets that expectation at least. But yeah, I'm excited to play that. But so, just wrapping up Kingdom Hearts now, and hopefully South of Midnight will be what I'll talk about in 2 weeks when we come back. But
guess what?
What's up?
Guess what, Hodge? I'm also playing South of Midnight next. I got it already pre-installed, so maybe we could do, if we enjoy it enough, we could do a spoiler cast or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I wanted something short. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. We can get the trio together and do a little episode if we feel like it, if we enjoy it.
Hopefully we all see it through. It should be fun.
Yeah, I wanted something, short and a nice little.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably.
I'm going to play something new too, because I'm always playing backlog stuff. So
yeah, and it's probably a 10-hour game or something.
I think it's like 10 to 15. I think.
Okay, that's we should be able to get that out in a couple weeks then.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm not doing too much worth talking about. So whoever wants to go next.
All right, Midnight, you're up. I want you to go next.
All right. So I have been playing really just one game for the past 2 weeks here, and it's a big one. Persona 3 Reload, of course. So I beat Persona 3 Reload, the main game, rolled the credits, got the good ending. It was good. It was a good game. I think this is my least favorite Persona, though, I would say, of the 3 that I have played somewhat. 4 is still my favorite. Persona 4 Golden is my favorite. I love the characters and story and the town and everything in that. It's peak. 5, I think, even though I didn't beat 5, I put like 80 plus hours into it. I think 5 is better. But Persona 3 Reload, I did enjoy it. It is a good game. It's just, I don't think it's as good as the other ones. But I liked it. I beat it. And then I am playing Persona 3 Episode Aegis right now, which is the expansion for it. That's what I'm currently playing. It's about a 20-hour expansion, apparently, according to How Long to Beat. and I believe it because I think there's like 158 floors. It's kind of mid, to be honest with you. It's basically just like they took Tartarus, which is the tower, and they flipped it. So now you're going down into the earth and you're just clearing all these floors. And unlike the main Persona game where there's a lot of like school and social links and fun stuff to do, this is like almost all just exploration because you're like trapped in a hotel or in the dorm rather. And there's not a whole lot of social link stuff. So you're mostly just clearing floors. Now, the story, there is a little bit of a story, and I'm sure it's going to heat up and explain itself more. I am excited to see what the story is and how it ends. I'm sure it'll be cool once, you know, you get the revelation and the story ending. But for right now, I'm just kind of clearing floors, and that's kind of mid. But it's fine. I'm still going to do it. But yeah, Persona 3 Reload, it was good. I give it like an 8 out of 10, I would say, on Midnight Critic. I think it was pretty good. Sean, my favorite character, you asked me before. Honestly, I'm not sure that I have a favorite character because none of them really stuck out to me as being like super amazing, but also none of them were bad. I can tell you my core party when I was exploring. Of course, I had myself, the main character, and then I always brought Hikari, which was the pink healer girl because she heals, and you got to have them heals. And I also like her character; she's cool. And then I had the red girl, the student council president, who was my romance, by the way. I romanced her because she is I like her a lot, and she's also the most mature by far, the less childlike one. uh, she's pretty adult like, so you gotta do that. But I like her because she's got the sword, the rapier, and she also does frost, which is good. And then last I had Sonata, the boxer, the cool boxing dude. I really liked him because he brought the crush, the crush element with his fist. He also had lightning, and he's a cool character too. I like his little story, how he's trying to get stronger and stuff. So overall, it was really good. I did meet your boy Ken Amata or whatever, the the elementary school kid. I only used him a little bit. I didn't use him a lot, but he was cool. He's got like his little story. I like how his story interacted with that Agaragi or whatever dude with the red jacket. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, it's definitely of the Persona games that I've played, I think the weakest one. And I haven't played the remake, but from what I've heard and everything, they didn't change too much. And they actually stripped down some of it. Like you don't get like the dual protagonists like you could in the I think it was the PSP version.
Yeah.
And they didn't do so much to Tartarus to make it like there was a lot of complaints about it early on after you play like Persona 4 and Persona 5, and they didn't really change much of it. So, oh well, we'll see though. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, they did change like the layout of like every 25 or so floors they did a different design, but you're still in the same place. It's still Tartarus. Like it's not like it's not like a palace where it's a completely different theme and you're in a whole different place with a separate payoff for each one. It's just like, oh, I cleared another 25 floors and here's a boss. You know what I mean? It's just not as cool. What's your favorite Persona, Sean?
Probably five. Five Royal. Like I said, I'm not the big like I love my JRPGs, I love my weeb stuff, but I'm not the biggest Persona guy. I like it, just not my like favorite thing. Like I still haven't played Metaphor. Like I'm not like the huge Atlas guy, but I do like Royal a lot. Golden's pretty good too, though. Like I don't know. I think they're all pretty similar to me ranking wise. Kind of depends on the day. I like the story of 4 better, but I like the cast of 5 a lot better. The cast of 5 I have better connections with. But that's not even my favorite Atlas game. My favorite Atlas game is Soul Hackers 2. Let's go.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's my favorite Atlas game.
That's
I
like the
love Soul
budget
Hackers
game that
2.
didn't do that
Yep.
well, but
I know, and I freaking loved it.
I considered playing that because it was like one of the first Atlas games that really came to Xbox. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was on Game Pass, and I never found the time. But yeah, shout out to 4 Golden. I love it. And that's all I'm playing. So.
All right. Well, we're going to go to me. I am still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and this game continues to blow me away. At every moment I play, I'm like, something new happens that completely like blows my mind. Like I cannot believe that this is actually like happening in a game. I've talked about it to death, so I just want to highlight like one side quest. I'm just gonna name this. I'm gonna say the name of the side quest. It's called the Hermit. And this side quest is freaking awesome because you have so much. There's so much like speech and dialogue in this quest that you have to like. It really tests like, oh, how are you? Like, what's your speech skill like? Are you able to manipulate certain people? Did you make the wrong decision? There's a lot of choice and consequence with this side quest, and it really stood out to me. And like that's what I love about some of these, immersive sim games. It's proven to me that Bethesda like really needs to step up their game with dialogue. Like I thought like they were like the top notch with their dialogue system and their choice and consequence. Then I play this and I'm like crazy. Like this is what I want out of a Fallout game. Um, but yeah, so the hermit side quest is awesome. It's probably I don't know. You can do it. I don't. You can probably do this side quest at any time as long as you do like there's two prerequisite side quests you have to do. But like I don't know, I'm like probably 2/3 the way through the main story now. I don't even know because I don't know how long it is. But I'm just absolutely loving it. I've played like 80 hours of the game. It's so good. I can't wait for you to play at midnight.
And this is why, Sean, that I honestly believe Western RPGs are the best because they have a much stronger focus, from what I've experienced anyway, on dialogue and choices. Like you were talking about, actually, like your speech skill actually matters, and actually like making a lot of dialogue choices that actually matter. It's not the same thing just reworded twice, and like having branching outcomes as a result of that. That's what I really love about the Western RPG. As far as Bethesda is concerned, that was never really their strong suit, was the dialogue. They're mostly about like the exploration and the RPG immersion. The stories were always just kind of yeah. I think Obsidian is known for their
Yeah,
dialogue and story.
I meant more like just Fallout in general. So I was talking like Obsidian too,
Okay,
New Vegas in general. But yeah, it's really good. I can't wait for you to play because I know you're gonna like love this game.
all right.
All right. I also played this visual novel called oh sorry. I played this visual novel called the Fruit of Grisaia. Fruit of Grisaia. And it is a visual novel. I had it on Vita, so I decided to play it. And it is it's interesting. It takes place in like a high school. It's an academy, high school age kids. But there's only 6 people in it, and all of them are very, very troubled, like very, very troubled, disturbed young people. Like they've all had trauma in their life, and they're sent there basically to try to, get over their trauma. And you follow the main character of Yuji Kazame. And he's just like a young man who has to transfer there because, again, he is very, very tragic past. I'm not going to spoil that, but it's a psychological drama. There's a mystery. There's branching storylines. I only finished one storyline, and the storyline, it really depends on like the choices you make, who you talk to, because you have a limited time. Like it'll be like, oh, you can talk to you can talk to this person, or this person, and depending on who you talk to, that's gonna determine like the way the story goes. It was a lot. It was very interesting. This was very much like a deep and sorrow game. There was not a lot of lighthearted elements of this. Like usually you have like in visual novels, you'll have like the lighthearted moments, like like the funny moments, like the campy stuff. This does not have it. It's very much like a psychological drama and a mystery. And it had me questioning like, oh, like what's gonna happen next? And I actually was kind of surprised by the ending. I did not see what happens at the end coming. It's not a long visual novel. It's probably like 15 hours. And they have, and there's an anime adaptation of it. I have not watched it, but it is very much, like I said, a deep, deep, sorrowful game. So it's a sad story, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Interesting. Hodge, I'll let you go first. You have any thoughts on that?
No, I've honestly never really been a big visual novel. I tried playing. I think I've talked about it. I've tried playing Danganronpa, and while the story is really cool, I just don't like that gameplay. So I'm happy, obviously, that you're enjoying it, but it's definitely not one of those types of games that I would ever hop into.
Yeah, and it actually spawned a series. There's 2 other games, so I'm probably gonna play them. There's the Labyrinth of Grisaia and the Eden of Grisaia, so I'm gonna try to check those out.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked it up because I'd never heard of this. First thing I noticed this is apparently an anime as well.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, they made it. They made it into an anime first. I mean, after.
Okay, the anime is based on the visual novel.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm on Steam here, and I can see that this game has very good reviews. It has very positive. 93% of
Yeah,
Steam
it's
reviews
really
are
good.
positive,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
apparently quite good. Haven't played it. Probably will never play it. I'm not a huge visual novel guy usually, but it looks cool. Looks interesting. Good stuff, Sean.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I
And
like
next
that
up,
this girl has a cat on her head. I'm looking at this picture. There's this girl with twin tails, and she's got a cat on her head. And
yes,
as a cat fan, I like that. Shout out to her.
she's got her backstory is pretty gruesome. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like really bad actually. Like probably one of the worst ones of
Oh
like
damn.
yeah in terms of severity. All right, and then finally on a much different note, I am playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, like the remake that came out a couple. Was that 2020? I don't even know.
Not
I
sure.
don't remember what year, but
But I am playing it, and I am really enjoying it. I love just going around. There's like you do your little runs or 2 minutes each, and I just love like going around and doing tricks and trying to collect the skate letters and the secret tapes. I've only played probably a few hours of it, but I'm done like 4 levels. 100% of the first one, 100% of the second one. The third one I have not 100% yet. I'm in like the there's like a contest. Yeah, it's just the map's just called Skate Park, and it's like a contest, and it's like, oh, you get rated and stuff. So far, my favorite map though, I loved the school map. I thought it was so cool. I think it's in Miami.
mhm.
It's actually a middle school because it's not a high school. Because on one of the walls, I noticed it says middle school on it. So I was like, oh, interesting.
You're talking
And
about in the first game
yeah, I'm
where
I'm
you
on the
start
first.
on the overhang and drop down. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's pretty fun. I was so bad when I first tried to play it. Like I was so bad, and then it's so funny that you slowly see yourself like progressing and getting better. I'm enjoying it. It's not like a game that like I'm usually into. My only history with Tony Hawk is playing Pro Skater 3, Pro Skater 4, and American Wasteland, but I never played the only one I ever beat was American Wasteland. Like I don't I dabbled in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, but American Wasteland I spent a lot of time with. But I was so bad when I started this game, like horrendous. And now I'm like getting better. I created my own skater. I got myself Sean Mason there. Riding around with my skateboard, just like the real days. Yeah, I know. I've never ever skated. Did you guys ever skate back in the day?
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hodge, could you
I
grind?
no, I was never very good. I could barely ollie.
Can you do a kickflip?
Yeah. Now I had friends who lived on my street who skateboarded, so I kind of got into it with them, and I got as good as being able to finally balance on the board. But there was one I remember I gave up on it when I tried ollieing up to grind on something, and I fell, and I had a pencil in my pocket and it stabbed me in the leg, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want
Oh
to do
my
this anymore.
god, that sounds horrendous.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, so I stopped.
Some
But
kind
Um,
of lead poisoning too. There.
yeah, I grew up on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 were my favorites growing up. I played a little bit of 3. I never played 4 or anything after that, but 1 and 2 came out when I was a kid, right when skating was at like its peak, and like the ska music that's in it is so good, and I still listen to some of that on my workout playlist, like Superman and Police Truck. Those songs are amazing, but yeah, those I love those games so much, even though apparently, like it's like the thing of where you're a better gamer when you're a kid, because I could dominate all that stuff when I was a kid, and now it's like, can I put in the slow motion cheat code so I can land these moves? But yeah, I'm not nearly as good as I used to be. That's for
I
sure.
think it's more of like if you started playing it and then just like practice at it, I think you can get good at it again.
Yeah, I
It's one
did
of those
beat.
games. Oh, go
Yeah.
on.
I was just saying I did beat it, so like I eventually got good enough to beat the game, but I don't think I like 100% it and stuff like that. I don't remember, but
Dude, getting
it's been
some
a
of those
while.
like super score, whatever they call them, like they call them like six scores. It's like
Yeah.
125,000. I'm like, how could I do this? Hodge, do you have a favorite map from Pro Skater 1 and 2?
Oh man, I always liked Chicago, just mostly because it was in Chicago. But I can't remember it from the first one, the downhill one, where you're like grinding on the sewers and stuff like that. I always loved that one. Obviously the OG warehouse, just the very first level in the first game. I love that.
See, I wasn't a fan of that one at all. I did
Oh,
not
it's
like
such
it
a.
at
It's
all.
just. I think it's probably purely based on nostalgia. Just because every time you'd boot up the game, if you didn't have your memory card or whatever, it's like that's the one you have to play first. So it's just the nostalgia booting it up. But I always did love the school. I don't know. I loved every map from. I'm trying to remember. There was one. I gotta look it up. I think it was San Francisco. In Tony Hawk. Which one was that? No, not the one in 4. Collect Skate and Pony Hawk 1 and 2. Yeah, I can't remember which one. If it was 1 or 2, but there's a San Francisco map that was really awesome. I always liked that one. But yeah, I love those games. I always skated as well, obviously I did a lot of Tony Hawk. I did Bam Margera a lot, even though I don't think he was in 1 and 2 for this
He's
time
in
around.
3. He's in 3.
Well, I think he was.
I don't think he is anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he was in them back in the day, but they removed him. But they did add him back to 3 and 4 because they removed, I think, because of his drug issues and stuff. They removed him, but they brought him back for this one. But yeah, I don't know. I always loved like the collect the videotapes, collect skate. I always loved doing that stuff. It was so much fun. But yeah, I love those games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
the.
the. I'm looking forward to the 3 and 4 one because my favorite map was in Pro Skater 3. They had a cruise ship one, and I love that level.
Oh yeah. Oh, and obviously the Area 51 is an awesome map. I love just the secret of going into the one building where there's an alien on the bed being like, "Help me." It's just I love it. It's great. But yeah.
All right. We ready to move on, guys?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, before we get into our Switch 2 thoughts, we have a little bit of a write-in. And Midnight, why don't you take the write-in this week?
All right, I'll take the write-in since you're doing the main hosting here. So we have a write-in, audience. If you want to do a write-in, go on the YouTube and leave us a comment with your write-in, and there's a decent chance it will be used because we don't get a lot of write-ins, and we appreciate you. So this one was from the Dav Hut 21, and he says, "What is your all-time favorite co-op game? Mine was It Takes Two, but Split Fiction dethroned it. Hazelight Studios has been amazing at making great co-op games." Wow. How about that? Hodge, didn't you recently were playing this, weren't you? You want to take it away first?
Yeah, sure. I actually haven't beat Split Fiction yet. My brother is in Tokyo right now, so we had to take a break, even though we are on the last level. So we are literally probably about an hour away from beating Split Fiction. It is fantastic. We're going to play It Takes Two eventually after as well. But in terms of like, I don't know, like mandatory co-op games, I only have ever played Hazelight games anyway, so I'm not sure. But co-op for me, I always think of going back to the days of OG Halo, getting a partner to do Legendary because it's really hard to do by yourself, and doing split screen like that. But as I've talked about on here before, me and my older brother have the tradition of playing every single Lego game together. So that is kind of my biggest memory of anything co-op related, even though, like I said, it's a single player game. You can play single player, but playing it co-op is the only reason I ever play those games. I've never played a Lego game by myself. I don't care to, but just the tradition of me and my brother, because ever since we had the OG Star Wars Lego game on PS2 and we played that all the time. And so just once we got old enough where he was off to college or I was off to college and we moved, we were living in different parts of the country. Anytime we got together for a holiday, we would just be like, all right, we're knocking out a Lego game while we're home for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever. So let's do this. And so we would always do that. And so, yeah, it's really just any like Halo game other than we did play Co-op 5, but that game's horrible. But we played that and then like the Lego games. So those are really like the only, and then obviously Split Fiction, and we played A Way Out together as well. Those are really the only like co-op memories I have, because we've never really played any that are like dedicated co-op games other than the Hazelight games, or Hazelight, I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, so that's really all I have for co-op.
Hodge, you brought up the Lego games. The 20th anniversary of Lego Star Wars, the original Lego Star Wars, was like I think a couple weeks ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that game so much. That's one of my favorites still, just the OG.
For me, like Hodge said, as in terms of dedicated, like you have to be co-op. That was, I don't know, just like It Takes Two and A Way Out. As far as co-op though, I have a vast memories of playing so many co-op games as a kid, especially with my sister and my dad and my friends. Shout out to those Lord of the Rings games you could play co-op, like Return of the King and the two towers. My gosh, me and my
Dude,
sister would play that game so much, just running through,
those are
leveling
so
up each
good.
character, getting every character to level 20, and you could when you beat the game, you could use any character on any level. That was so much fun.
One day we'll do a tie-in, like movie tie-in episode of games that are
Oh,
like TV show tie-ins, and that is
that's one of the best ones,
it's
definitely.
so good.
Speaking of another movie tie-in one that we played a lot as kids was Shrek 2, the video game. Was a 4-player beat 'em up game. It was a co-op game. This was like it was a think of like the Lord of the Rings Return of the King game. Think of it like that, but think of it like Shrek. That's what it was. Like you pick your levels. Once you beat the game, you can go back and do levels with any character you want. It was so much fun. I'll never forget playing this game with my sister because my parents went to Vegas over over one of like our February vacation, which is like a Massachusetts thing, and they left us at our grandparents' house, my grandmother's house. We're like, oh my gosh, we want to play Shrek 2, so we brought our PS2 with us, and I'll never forget we in the middle of the night. My grandparents were like, you have to go to bed at 9 p.m. Like, come on. We snuck out. We snuck like up and like we went downstairs and played We played Shrek 2 to like 2 in the morning. It's great. Yeah,
Nice.
Shrek 2, Return of the King. Basically, Nicktoons Party Blast, the infamous Nicktoons Party Blast game. You can play that co-op, and that's how I used to play it. So yeah, games like that. I have so many memories. Yeah, if we do that we gotta do that tie-in episode. That would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Midnight. What about you?
Yeah, so I had two that come to mind quickly here. So first of all, we have GoldenEye 007 on the Nintendo 64. As a young lad playing that split screen, 2, 3, 4 people, etc. That was the ultimate co-op shooter experience. So much fun going around those levels, just killing each other, hoping that you find the golden gun, which is the cheat code, to one hit everybody. But no matter what, it's just always a great time, win or lose. One of the best co-op experiences ever. And then a more recent one that I really enjoyed a lot. I beat this a couple years ago. This is an Xbox second party game. It's on Game Pass. And it is, why did the name just escape me? Shit. What's the name of that game?
I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
It's like the little graphic novel style art.
Wait, which one?
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god! I do.
Oh my gosh! It looked really cool. The art style looked really cool.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, I got it. It's As Dusk Falls. I can't believe I completely blanked. I was totally had it in my head, and then it was gone. As Dusk Falls, an awesome story-based game. I played that co-op with 2 of my friends online, and it was super fun. You go through the chapters and stuff, and you make a lot of choices. And this game, I recommend this to everyone. I actually want to try to play this with my dad when he's staying with me. He's not a gamer. He doesn't play games, but I think he might be able to handle this. Just make choices and see what happens. And one thing that's cool, too, is you get so many vetoes per chapter. So if like you really want to do something, like say you really want to kill someone instead of spare them, for example, you can burn your vetoes to override the other people. Of course, they could veto your veto, and then you have to use another veto. You get like 3 vetoes a chapter, and it's pretty cool though. And it was a good story. I liked all the characters. It wasn't woke or any weird stuff, so I don't have to put on the blue sunglasses. It was good. No, it was good. I really liked it. Recommend it. I'm excited to see what this studio does next, because if they make another game like that, I'll be there. So that's my 2.
All right. Awesome games, guys. But yeah, so like Midnight said, if you have a write-in, always leave us a comment. Message us if you want to write in on Discord. I don't know. Send us a message on, Twitter /X, whatever you guys call it these days.
Send me a carrier pigeon.
Yeah, carrier pigeon. That works.
Mail a letter to Sean.
Yeah, mail a letter, handwritten, please. Cursive only. All right. Next up, we're going to get actually into the topic of the show, and that is the Nintendo Switch 2. Before we break, we're going to go through the Direct one by one. There are like basically 36 little like points or numbers I have. Obviously, we're going to spend more time on some than others. Before we do that, though, I just want to mention that they didn't mention the price during the Direct. We got all that information after. It's coming out June 5th, 2025 for $449 $99 US, so that's 450 for those who can't do math. Um, there's also a Mario Kart bundle that comes out at $500, but here everyone was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome! That's a steal!" Because I actually thought it was going to be $599. I thought we were going for the 600. But here is where we have a little divisiveness between people. The game prices. Some of these games are going to be $79.99, pushing that up, that $10 up. For Mario Kart is at 80. Some games are 70, some games are 60. But it seems to me that Nintendo first party is going to be charging $80. And what do you guys think? How do you think that's going to affect future games, specifically like GTA 6? Because if Rockstar looks around and says, "Oh my gosh, Nintendo's charging $80 for a Mario Kart game that probably cost, I don't know, $50 million to develop, and GTA is costing us billions of dollars. How much can we get away with charging? What do you guys think?"
So, first of all, there's no way that they could develop Mario Kart World for $50. I know you're joking. I bet that's at least
50
150
million.
million. I'm sure. I bet that's at least 150 million. That's a
Oh.
big. That's a big open world. It's like Forza Horizon, but Mario Kart. And they're bumping up the graphics now with the Switch too. They actually have decent resolution and graphics now. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I think if I'm GTA, I'm definitely putting the game at least $80, maybe even flirting with 90, because you can do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sure it'll be at least $80. Sony's going to follow suit. A lot of their games are going to be $80. Microsoft at some point will follow suit. I'm sure a lot of their games will be $80. This is what happens. Someone makes the first step and then everybody else follows along. And I'm not happy about it, obviously. I understand it because if you look at just straight up inflation, I believe it was Dustin who pointed out on Twitter, on X, that $70 in 2000 is now like $84 or something in today's money. So really, I mean, they're just getting their inflation back, not even. But it sucks as a consumer because, as you guys know, wages have not really kept up with inflation in the U.S. and a lot of the rest of the world kind of follows suit. So people are struggling right now, and paying $80 for a game is not a great feeling. Not a great feeling. Not a great look. I think a lot of people are going to be playing less new games, maybe looking for more bargains, maybe more subscription services to try to save money. But yeah, what do you think, Hodge?
I think that's a stupid fucking excuse. I understand it. I understand that inflation exists and that our economy is going to start hurting a little bit, or I mean, it's been hurting for the last 5 years, but I understand that it's getting worse and everything, but it's not on the consumer to make up for it. It's up to the company to try and make it cheaper for us. So if they want to do that, then this is gonna become a more luxury. I mean, it already is obviously a first world luxury entertainment, but if they want to lower their lower their what's the word I'm looking for? Player base, then
Profit.
that's a good way to do it because you're going to price people out. And I don't like the argument that the Switch is like the kiddie system. I mean, obviously these games are obviously usually rated E to teen, whereas we're on Xbox and PlayStation playing T to M. So I understand that, but but at the same point, this is a family system, and you're buying it for your kids. But if you're struggling in this economy to buy your groceries, then you're not going to buy a $500 system and spend almost $100 per game on your just so to keep your kids busy. You're going to do what most parents are doing already anyway, and giving them that iPad to fucking play Candy Crush or whatever on to keep them busy. You're not going to buy them a Switch because that's a waste of money. It's like I do appreciate the Mario Kart thing because instead of selling the game for 80, they're selling it for basically 50 on top of the console. So you get to save a little money there, but the games outside of that, $80 per game is a stupid, and especially when you're the the console that's notorious for not putting your games on sale. So your games are going to be $80 until Black Friday 2029 when Metroid Prime 4 drops to $60. Like it's a stupid idea, and I think honestly, what some people have said, I wonder if they're entering into their Wii U era again, where they got too cocky with the Wii because it was such a popular system that they're like, all right, here's a crappy iterative upgrade, give us more money. And everyone's like, no, like I have my Switch. They sold what 130 million of them or something, 110
Mhm.
million of them, something like that. Like you're gonna people have their Switch. They don't need to upgrade. Their kids are happy playing Mario Odyssey still. They don't need to play Mario Kart World. They have Mario Kart 8. Like kids don't like as a kid, I got every system 5 years after they came out. I didn't fucking know. I was a kid. My parents just like, here's video games, play them. So that kids don't care. And if you obviously the enthusiast and like our buddy Zach in Discord, he was defending it because to him, Nintendo games are worth that much. But to me, they're not. And to families, I'm guaranteeing they're not because they don't care about the Switch. They just want it for their kids. And if it's too expensive, they're not going to buy it for them. So it's a stupid price point. I understand that video games are an enthusiast hobby for the most part, which is what we are. We're enthusiasts. We're going to spend $700 on a PS5 Pro when our PS5 works just fine. We're going to spend $200 on a Portal so we don't have to sit at the TV because we're lazy. We're enthusiasts. We're going to do that. And so to us, maybe that price isn't that bad. But when you are a family console, you need to keep families in mind and upgrading. And then also you can tell that they're using us to finance the cheap one that they're doing in Japan. That's only in Japan, which is what, $350 or something like that. Like they're giving them a cheap one.
It's
because,
also region locked, though. It's also region.
Yeah,
locked.
I know, but it's a local one for their local base, which is the biggest base for Nintendo. And they're doing that because they are struggling financially. People have talked about that. So they're giving them a discounted one and we're eating the brunt of it by everyone else in the world having to pay more. So I don't know. I'm not a Nintendo, analyst, so I don't know, but to me it's a stupid move that they made.
I see both sides of the argument. Hodge, I am gonna push back on you a little bit about the kids not knowing like I'm surrounded by kids almost every day for the last 7 years of my life. And
Well, yeah, older kids. I'm saying like the 5,
I
6 year olds.
I used to teach middle school, and they have younger brothers. I'm telling you, and I know people. My teacher friends, they all have younger kids. With the advent of technology and social media and kids being online so much more, they know a lot more about things that are coming out and things that
That's
are
fair.
releasing.
That's fair. We
It's
grew up in
very
the my
different.
dad works for Nintendo era, so
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
It's very different now. So
That's
kids
fair.
do want this. I'm telling you, kids do want this.
Yeah, it's like how
it
you
is
see
not
kids
going to
with
be
iPhones because they have to fit in.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I mean. Kids get phones in like second
Yeah.
grade now. It's ridiculous, but it's crazy to me. But this is nowhere near going to be a Wii U flop. It's not going to hit Switch numbers. Switch is probably going to top out at 160, probably 150 to 160 million. But I do think this will hit 100 million in sales.
Sure.
In terms of well, then it'd be way better than the Wii. The Wii U hit 13 million.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a Wii U because people understand that this is a
no, I know. I'm saying more in
console.
I'm saying more not in sales. I'm saying more in their arrogance that they're gonna try and push people further, saying you'll pay for it anyway, and most people will.
I say that
I think
Nintendo's
some
always
people will
been an
dip.
arrogant I think Nintendo's always been an arrogant company, even with the Switch. They've been arrogant. They play by their own drum. I see both sides of the argument. I see both sides of the argument in terms of pricing. It sucks. It's horrible when prices go up. Like no one wants to pay that. But at the same time, if you look in the 90s, games were. I just looked up a video game ad from the 90s. Nintendo 64 games were selling for $79.99. So were PS1 games. It's like. It's kind of crazy to think about like that. The only difference was back then there was so much price variety and no one knew. Like you had games going for $80 and you had other games selling for 20, and now it's more of like the standards. Like every game sells for full price, and unless you're an indie, then you sell lesser. And that's why it's such a surprise and such a head scratcher to people when they see a game released for like $40. Like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this game? It's only $40. So it's very different. I see both sides of the argument. Honestly, like to me, it's terrible. I wish that everyone could get something that they want, especially today especially like you said with the economy. But to me, it's worth it. I will be getting it. I'm not happy about spending $80 on a game. I would go. I miss the days when it was $49.99 back when I was like 10 years old, where every game was $49.99. And
I remember the jump to 60 because
to PS3 360 era.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember because I remember that Christmas being like, "Mom, can I get? I want like two." She's like, I don't know. They're $60 now. I'm like, well, it's the same. You're spending like $20 more than if you buy me two PS2 games. It's like, I don't know. I ultimately ended up getting 2 games, so like it really didn't matter. But then we got so used to $60 for so long, and then that jumped to 70, and now we're used to $70, and I'm assuming we're just gonna get used to $80, and then some other companies, the whatever company's gonna jump to 90, and then Grand Theft Auto is gonna be $30,000. But yeah, I see both sides of the argument, but I don't want to get too like stuck with this. I do want to cover the more positive stuff we thought about the direct.
Yeah, honestly, before obviously we move on and whatnot, and before Midnight spits his bars, that was really the only negative I had. I mean, there were a lot of games I didn't care about, and it was just another direct of here's a bunch of ports again. But I was mostly positive until the news came out after the direct, and I was like, okay, this is not great. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. If Midnight has anything to say, otherwise we can keep moving.
No, I went before you.
Remember? Oh, that's right. I talked for like 45 minutes. So
yeah, no, you were mad about this, man. Let them know, man. Write a letter to the CEO, dude. Let them know.
Yeah. So yeah, we can move on. Yeah, that was really my most negative thing. I mean, I guess I didn't really mention to talk about the console price. The console price I was expecting about $400 to $500. That didn't bother me too much. If they had come out like $599, I would have been like, it's not nearly worth that. It's
I really expected that. I really expected that due to the tariffs and everything that's going on. And I just think that, like I said, Nintendo's always been arrogant, and I think any console that sells for less than $500 in 2025 is a bargain.
Yeah, and
I think it's a good price.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
A decent price.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they kept it down, is because they want to get the hardware out there as cheap as they can, and then sell you the software for more.
Well, that's where they make the money, is on the software.
It's like restaurants. They make their money off drinks, not food. But it's so I completely I get that. Yeah, so the console price, which is why even though I was mad at the price, at first I was like, maybe I still will get the Mario Kart World Edition, because if that's $500 for like the one game I really want. So I was like, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we can move on.
All right, speaking of Mario Kart World, we're gonna get right into that. The direct started with Mario Kart World. We saw that little teaser for it back in the original Switch 2 teaser. Mario Kart World is very, very vast compared to other Mario Kart games. Like Midnight had said, this is like an open world Mario Kart game. So much so that in between races, when you're doing Grand Prix, you race to your next race. Basically, you drive through. There's an open world mode where you can kind of just explore and go off and go to any level. It kind of reminds me of like what we used to do back in the day when you're playing like the old Mario Kart games. Like, all right, this race we're just gonna drive around and try to discover things. Like I remember like on like Mario Kart 64, like on like the level with the train, like going through like the train, like following the train tracks. Like I remember doing that. But yeah, it seems vast. There's going to be 24 racers per track. That's a new high for them.
That's
double. It's double because before they only had 12. There's a lot of new characters. You saw that the cow from Moo Moo.
Oh, I'm going to be playing as him all the time. I'm playing as that cow for sure.
They had the penguin. They had the giant penguin from Mario 64. That was a racer. That was shown in there. Awesome. They had a lot of various things, a lot of new stages. What got me most curious is Mario Kart notorious for introducing and bringing back retro courses. How are they going to do that with this? That is my big thing.
Oh, dude, if they did like a DLC where it's a big open world, but just the N64 maps, I would lose my mind.
I'm sure they built some of the retro courses just into the open world.
Yeah, I'm sure they do have like
just like Call of Duty does with their
Warzone.
Their Warzone, yeah, they just like the maps are part of the big open world. So
yeah.
On top of that, since we're driving between maps, do you think there'll be a Rainbow Road, especially considering this is Mario Kart World and it seems like all the maps are based off real life like areas? Will there be a Rainbow Road, the staple of Mario Kart? And if there is, how do we get there?
It's gotta be like a portal or something. Like you drive up a portal into the sky or something.
Warp pipe.
I don't know.
Warp pipe.
Let me just say I'm really excited about this for my draft stock because this game's going to be a 9+ on the Metacritics, Open Critics, and I need those points. So shout out to me for having the foresight and the genius to draft this game when it wasn't even announced. I knew it was coming. It looks awesome. as I mentioned earlier, this is basically like Forza Horizon, Mario Kart. Like you can drive all around this big open world. Then you launch the races and you get your race on, and then you can drive around and have fun. Definitely looks like a much higher budget. I think Nintendo games development costs are going to definitely jump with the Switch 2, by the way, because now they are actually entering like real HD graphics, and they're hitting 4K 60 on some things, and they're hitting 1080p 120, and it's more expensive. So, but yeah, I'm excited about this game. I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, to be honest with you, but I'm excited for my draft stock, and I might get that bundle just because we might want to play with the boys, every now and then, play with the Spank Bank and stuff.
Yeah, I said I have 5 conditions on me buying a Switch 2, and so those 5 will have to be met. But the first one's the toughest one, so if I get past that one, it should be easy. But yeah, so I'll get positive here for a second. That game looks awesome. I think it looks so freaking fun. I don't know if I've given crap on here about it, but I know I have IRL. Is that to me, most Nintendo games do not really do much iteration on their previous. It's just kind of the same formula with maybe better graphics in the next game and maybe like a little new moves or something. I don't know. But this game revolutionizes Mario Kart compared to the old ones. It's not just load up and do a Grand Prix or load up and play multiplayer. Like, this is a completely different game from every other Mario Kart game, and it looks so much fun. Having 24 racers, having the amount of people they have, having new different types of karts you can drive, like, jet skis or whatever else they had. I can't remember, but
they had the wings for the airplane instead of the
instead of like the parasail thing.
Yeah.
So it looks awesome. I opened up this show hyped as hell because I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna expect. I really did expect just Mario Kart 8 plus, basically, of just the same thing, but with better graphics on a better console and new characters and new maps, kind of thing. But no, they blew me out of the water with this one. It looks awesome. I'm very if I do get a Switch, obviously this will be the first game I get on it, because if I do get one, I want to get that bundle. They did say it was going to be a limited edition thing, so who knows? It'll probably be gone by the time if I do hop into this console. But yeah, this game looks so much fun, and yeah, I'm going to play as the cow every single race. So,
yeah. Hodge, I just have one question for you. How many 3D Mario games have you played? Like the full 3D platform Mario games?
I played 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Odyssey.
All right. Okay. I think 3D World. Play 3D World.
I don't think so.
All right. Never mind then. Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. So next up, we got some. Sorry. Hang on.
Oh, no, that's the weird cat one. I didn't play that one.
Yeah, we got Switch 2 camera plus the game chat feature. This is a little interesting. That camera looks like it's straight out of like the early 2000s. Looks like a tripod almost. It is only going to be like $49.99 though, so that's a.
Yeah, I was expecting.
You were expecting like $200.
Yeah. I was like, Nintendo will sell this for $200 because they do that.
But it was interesting. The one cool thing I thought was basically it looks like Discord, where you can kind of see what your friends are playing and kind of watch along with them. The one thing I found really strange was the fact that like it's not a dedicated microphone, so you're just kind of talking.
Oh my god,
that's going to be a nightmare for so many people. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. You imagine you're sitting there, and then you're like a kid sitting there, and then also their parents start yelling and screaming at each other, and you're just like, "Hey guys, playing Mario!"
It just brought me back to one, even this gen, the PS5 controller mic. That thing is terrible. And then last gen, the Xbox Kinect. That talking through that thing, it sounded like you were talking from the bottom of a well. It was horrible. And like they can say like, oh, it has this technology to mute everything else. I'm like, yeah, so does the iPhone. But the iPhone mic is probably going to be way better than this one. But it's like, that's a horrible idea. Like, and when at one point they showed headphones on the screen, I'm like, okay, they're going to introduce the headphones you can wear. And it's like, no, the audio will be immersive to sound like you're wearing headphones. I'm like, just let us wear headphones. I don't want to talk through this crappy microphone. What are you doing?
Hey, at least At least it's a step forward from their Nintendo Switch Online app where you talk
Oh
into the
yes,
phone.
yes. Even though I could use headphones if I was using my
Yep.
Nintendo app. But yeah, I'm just like, when I saw it, I was like, they're doing Zoom calls, like they have the little boxes at the like literally what we're looking at right now as we talk as the Zencaster thing. I'm like, and then the funniest thing though was when they showed like you can watch what everyone else is playing, because I was like, why are there just like boxes there? Like, don't put boxes. But when it shows the gameplay and it's showing that each stream is going at like 5 frames per second, I'm like, well, at least they're being honest that it's gonna run like doo-doo, because holy crap. But this, I'm happy they're catching up to the Xbox 360 in terms of party chat. But like, why did they take 15 minutes to talk about this? Like, this crappy microphone, this crappy 720p camera, where everyone, it straight up it reminded me of the Nintendo 3DS camera. Like, it was that bad. But like, why did they focus so much time on it? Just be like, and finally, you don't have to use an app. Use the chat on the system, and here's a C button for chat. I'm like, really? We doing this right now? Like, why are we focusing so much on this 2010 technology? What is happening right now? But I don't know. I'm happy, obviously, that party chat's coming to Xbox or to Switch, and it is kind of neat that you can like watch each other's things. But the fact that it was like, yeah, here it is, 5 frames per second, you can put your face over it and at 720p, like, oh my god, it was so. I was saying to people, I'm like, it reminds me of Apple, like when Apple introduced swipe text to their phone. Like, look, you could swipe to do words. I'm like, the thing that I've had on Android since 10 years ago. Like, they do the thing of like, here's this old software, it's revolutionary. It's like, no, you guys are just
Sounds like Madden. Sounds like Madden.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I mean, yeah, again, I'm not, obviously it's cool that it's coming to it, but the fact that they spent 15 minutes talking about something that's already 10 years old, it's like, all right, let's not. But yeah. Anyway.
My thoughts are way more positive. Hodge is holding down the negativity today. I respect it. I thought this was actually pretty cool. I thought it was nice that they finally have actual party chat built into the console. I thought it was pretty unique how they did it. I thought that the camera being $50 is a great deal. That's not for me, but for a certain group of people who wants to actually get with their close friends, and actually, because like I don't do FaceTime, I don't want to look at people, but there are people out there who love FaceTime and they want to actually look at people and be like social. So I think that's pretty cool. And I thought it looked pretty good. I like how the camera automatically cuts you out, like you don't need a green screen or anything, and it seemed like that worked well. I think it's cool that you can share your gameplay. It is, I think it's 5 frames. I know you're joking. It was probably like 15 frames. Like it was probably like 600p 15 frames. It's not the best ever, but you can still see what's going on. It's for guiding people, I guess. Like they made a thing like, oh yeah, you got to climb the wall up here and then you can get to a secret spot,
Yeah. And if you're playing online, it's like playing split screen, but away from each other. So like, I get that. And the one thing I will say really quick is I like that the camera can like cut your face out and put you on certain things in certain games. Like your face shows up on Mario Party.
Party.
Like, yeah, I like that stuff. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, honestly, I thought I had zero complaints about this. I thought everything about it was cool. My only complaint about this, and it wasn't really a complaint, was every time they showed it, they had like the little chat boxes at the bottom. So the actual game screen wasn't full screen. And I was like, well, I don't want to look at that. Like, unless, well, if you're doing the video, maybe you want to look at that. But if it's just a voice call, you don't want to look at that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure at one moment they did show for like a second that you could have the game full screen, but like they barely showed it, and I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, because I had that same question. I'm like, I don't want to look at boxes where it has like the little circle like of their. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to look at that.
Unless you're doing the video, then you do. But
exactly,
if you're doing voice only, you don't want that. So
yeah.
But overall, I thought this was cool. It's reasonably priced. They're giving it away for free for almost a year, and then after that, you have to have the Switch 2 online, which is reasonably priced as far as I believe, and that makes sense.
$50 a year, I think, unless they're going to up again.
The added online, like if you want the upgraded like for the N64 games, GameCube games and stuff, that's $80 a year, which is like still a freaking steal.
Yeah, it's still way cheaper than PS Plus and Game Pass. So
yeah, so I think this is really cool and I like it.
All right, next up we had the Switch 2, kind of just like the specs of it on the screen. It can get up to 1080p, up to 120 FPS with HDR, which is pretty cool. It's pretty lofty for a Switch. It is not an OLED though; it is an LCD. That was confirmed. That was the rumor for a long time. I don't really care. I honestly don't care about OLED or LCD. Doesn't really bother me either way. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see Metroid Prime 4 running at 120 frames. That was like pretty awesome. Yeah, we can just move on from that really quickly. I mean, that's
No, I got some bars. I got some bars.
all right. All right.
So I'm kind of the tech guy of this podcast. Kind of, I'm big into computers and high specs and stuff. So I was pretty impressed with this, honestly. 1080p, 120 hertz HDR display is solid. It's also bigger. It's 7.9 inches instead of 6.2. It's not an OLED. I wish it was an OLED, of course, but as far as an LCD, from what I've seen and what I've heard, it's a pretty good quality one. Like, it looks good. So if you're playing in handheld mode, I don't think you'll really have any complaints. I'm sure in 2 or 3 years they will come out with an OLED and you'll want to upgrade at some point. But for now, I mean, I think it's going to look pretty good and you'll be happy enough. They also made upgrades to the dock itself. The dock supports 4K 60 frames, which I did not know that they were going to do that. That's pretty freaking sweet. So you'd be like 4K 60 frames or like maybe 1080p 120 frames per second on the dock, which is awesome. It has a fan in there too to keep it cooler, which is nice. Just all in all, I think the hardware looks pretty sweet. They also have a lot more storage. They went from 32 gigs to 256 gigs storage, which is nice. And it's just overall, it's bigger, it's nicer, and I am pretty impressed with the hardware.
That's what she
That's
said.
my thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I really quickly, I'm just happy that they're doing 120. That's nice that it's not just going to be a 1080-30 system. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, obviously we're praising a system for catching up to last gen specs, but it's still it's cool that it'll run 120 on handheld.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then next up we have Astrobot. I mean, Switch 2 Welcome Tour. The game that when I saw it, I'm like, this has got to be the pack-in game. But nope, it's being charged for. You are being charged. There's been no confirmation on whether or not there's a physical version. So I could see this as being like a downloadable game, like $20, like one of those
$6. That's what I heard. I think it's $6. I'm serious.
Interesting. But this was really interesting. It kind of, it makes you really use that mouse tool on the controller that they confirmed on each Joy-Con. Like I said, it kind of looked like Astrobot with like you're walking up to a giant Switch and kind of like messing around with it. I have zero interest in this game. I think this should be a pack-in game, to be honest. This should be their Wii Sports, or their Wii U, whatever the Wii U pack-in game. There was some Wii U pack-in game. I think it was like Nintendo Wii U party thing. I don't even know. This should be a pack-in game, Hodge. But Hodge, I know you're going to be all over this.
You're damn right. PS5 gave us one of the best platformers I've ever played for free. Nintendo is charging for a manual. So it's one, even if it was packed in, I doubt I would have played this because one, I don't want to play any games where I have to use my controller as a mouse. It's all right if you can make it work, cool. But for everything they show, it's like, here's a mini putt game and a handicap wheelchair basketball game. So I'm like, I don't care.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the handicap basketball game. I got stuff to say about that.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. I mean, if $6, I guess that's a drop in the bucket compared to everything else. But it's still just. I read online. I don't know if this is true that the only reason Wii Sports was included with the Wii is because my body is ready. What's his name? Reggie said like, no, you have to pack this in to sell it. Like, you can't charge for this. And Nintendo was so against it that they're like, no, we're not doing. But finally, he convinced them. So now that he's gone, they're like, no, we're going to charge for this because Nintendo doesn't see the point in giving away anything for free. So
it's funny you say that. In Japan, Wii Sports was not included.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So they don't see the point in giving away anything for free. So they're going to charge you for a tutorial. So yeah, there's no excuse. I mean, if it was like legitimately a game that was like Astro, where it showed off what the console can do, then I'd maybe give it some. But you're literally standing on a controller and you step on the button to say, here's what this button does. And I'm like, no, why the fuck would I pay for that? That's so stupid. It should be a free tutorial that boots up when you boot your Switch up. Like, it shouldn't be a game you're buying. But yeah, I don't even want to pretend this game exists because that's such a stupid idea.
All right, Midnight, what do you think?
So this is one area where I'm going to be negative as well. I only have two real complaints, honestly, with this, and that's the game pricing and this. This was a huge missed opportunity. This should have been a pack-in. It's literally a tutorial with some really small mini games that nobody cares about. I did check. It's 990 yen in Japan, which translates to about $6.12 USD. But they haven't announced the US price. I wouldn't be surprised if the US price is actually probably $9.99. I doubt they do that actual direct translation. Yeah, I bet it's $10, but we'll see. But it's stupid because nobody's going to buy that. They could have packed it in, and then maybe some people would have tried it and learned some features. But who cares? We'll keep it moving. We don't care about this.
Let's keep it moving. Next up, we have some Switch 2. We got some clarification on like games. So there's three. They basically deemed it three categories. We have Switch 2 games, which is just regular Switch 2 games, obviously. We have Switch 1 games. So there's a list of Switch 1 games that are compatible with Switch 2, just like regular, like no beefiness, no added enhancements. And then we have Switch 2 enhanced games, which this is where you play a Switch 1 game and there are some Switch 2 enhancements that are going to cost you some money. Some of them are $20, 20 US dollars supposedly, and some of them are 10 US dollars. So we're getting that price, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are $20 they showed. Well, they didn't show, but they've since we found out. But if you have the NSO, the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass, you get Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild upgrade for free. That's included in that. Yeah. Which is funny. It's kind of interesting. But we saw like Metroid Prime running at 120 frames per second, like we said. That is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Switch enhanced game. We're going to get into some more of the enhanced games, but the pricing is interesting how they're kind of like certain games are 10, certain games are going to be 20. And there's a little kerfuffle with the physical version of Switch 1 games that are getting a Switch 2 upgrade. Apparently, when you buy that game, like on Kart, it comes with a Switch 1 copy of the game, like a regular Switch game, and then they're giving you a downloadable code for the digital upgrade. But which is weird because in the previous direct, they kind of went away from those digital codes. They wanted those key card things. Yeah. So I'm really interested in this. What do you guys think?
I think I think it's fine. It seems pretty standard to me. Obviously,
I have no problem with
games.
The pricing.
Yeah, Switch 2 games, obviously, those are the new games. Back compat is cool. Not every game will be back compat. I hope that the Fire Emblem games are. I didn't look. They better be.
I'm assuming
they are.
I'm assuming they have to say that. It's just going to be a select few games. Kind of like the PS4, PS5. There's I think there's like 30 games that don't work. And my guess, like Ring Fit Adventure is not going to work because the Ring Fit controller is not compatible with this.
Oh, no. And then the Switch 2 enhanced games. I think if you buy them, they're usually like about $70. If you don't own the game at all and you just straight up buy it, and you get the Switch 2 version of the full game, it's like $70. That's fine. The upgrades $10 to $20. A bit weird that they don't have just a consistent pricing, but it's Nintendo. Whatever, they're gonna do their stupid thing. A $20 upgrade, I guess, for Zelda is a little expensive, but those are their biggest, best games that they have, kind of. And they are apparently in 4K 60, I think they said, for Zelda. So that's pretty sweet. Whatever. It's whatever to me. I'm done.
Yeah, I obviously Switch 2 and Switch 2 enhanced or the paying, it shouldn't be more than 10. I mean, that's what PS5 has been doing. I don't get it being 20. The fact that if you have NSO, you get it for whatever. That's Nintendo being Nintendo. But the backwards compatibility thing, I'm actually more worried about it than you guys, because I guess they put out a list and there was a lot of games on there that they're like, these aren't compatible yet. I mean, hopefully they will be eventually, but yeah, apparently the list is pretty big of ones that aren't compatible yet. And so if you're going to enhance them, I guess I can't bitch about it, but it's like, to be a little bit of an Xbot for a second, Xbox is now the only system that has done this correctly because you can play every game. Some of them have that frame rate update that they just added for free for all their, like, even the Xbox 360 games have gotten it. Like, I can't remember what that is called, but
Smart delivery.
no, they had smart delivery, but there was like the thing that they had where they upgraded their games for free, and I can't remember what that was called. Smart delivery was just
we understand what you're saying. We understand.
yeah. But so the fact that it's just a very Nintendo, I'm like, I'm not gonna pay too much credence to it because, especially since the only game backwards compatible that I wanted to play on the Switch 2 if I get it is Tears of the Kingdom, because I have yet to play it and I should. So the fact that the upgrade it comes free with the subscription that I'm already paying for, I'm like, all right, that's fine. But
Sweet.
it's a very Nintendo Nintendo way to deliver this news. But yeah, Switch 2 and Switch 1 just being back and pat by themselves is fine. Enhanced, yeah, $20 seems steep, but 10 I would get just because that's what PlayStation's been doing. So might as well meet the market there. But 20 just seems a little too much. But I didn't have too much issue with this. I'm just happy that they're not completely being like, no, it's not backwards compatible at all. We're gonna make you buy them all again. Like, I'm happy they're just not doing that, at least, because that would have been very stupid. But yeah, so I don't have too much to bitch about this.
Hodge. Moving on though. Well, actually, it's related, but so they showcased some of the Switch 2 enhanced games. One of them is Mario Party Jamboree, and I found this very fascinating. That you cannot buy a Switch 2 enhanced version of this for like the $10. You have to pay the full $70 for this game. They're charging $70 for it because they're adding in a lot of Switch 2 enhancements for it, more than just like new graphics. They're adding in a lot of other stuff. And similar to that, Kirby in the Forgotten Land is also it's not just a $10 upgrade, it's like a full $70 because they're adding
you have to buy that one
expansion.
again?
Yep, you have to buy it again if you want the Switch 2 enhancements.
Oh, that sucks. I love that game.
Well, they're adding a whole new
DLC
expansion
thing.
to it. That's why. Yeah, so same thing with Mario Party, which they showcased the Mario Party with a camera, how they're introducing like new modes with the camera mode. So those two games you cannot buy for a $10 upgrade. You have to rebuy for $70.
Oh my god, that's
yep.
Yep, that sucks, but oh well.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is what it is, right?
Yeah, but I will say both of those upgrades looked really cool. Like I have the direct up on my screen, and they showed one of the Mario Party games is you have to actually get up and do stuff. I don't want to do that crap, but I do like I said, how like on some of the things your face actually does appear if you have the camera, and I think that's actually fun. If you were to play with 3 other friends, it would be fun to show your dumb face reacting to everything. That
I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I've played so many games like that where when you're all kind of interacting face to face, whether in person or online, it is way more fun to do that because it is basically like you're hanging out. But yeah, that I didn't know that you couldn't just upgrade.
It's for as of right now, it's just those 2 games. But I could definitely see Nintendo pulling some stuff with other games too. Like I could see them saying like, "Hey, we're gonna enhance Super Mario Odyssey and add in a new kingdom, and you got to pay another $70 for it," which is crazy. But it is.
That is their way of doing the Wii U upgrade this time around, instead of you having to just rebuy it as Donkey Kong Switch or whatever they're called. Like instead of doing that, now it's no, we're adding an expansion. You have to buy it again. Like, oh come on, you're kidding me. Oh well.
Like we said, they showed Metroid Prime 4, 120 FPS, 1080p. I'll be curious if this launches day and date with the Switch 1 version. Would not shock me if the Switch 2 version came out a little bit later. That would not shock me at all.
Well, didn't Breath of the Wild come out same time
between the two consoles? But Nintendo, they have. In the past, though, they have done things like this before, like Twilight Princess for Wii and GameCube. Funny enough, the Wii version came out on launch day of the Wii, but the GameCube version didn't come out till December, which is kind of weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. They didn't really print a lot of copies of the GameCube one, actually. So, and then they showed one more game, Switch 2 Enhanced, that was Pokemon Legends ZA, which is funny because they showed it right after Metroid Prime 4, and you guys know, no way in heck is Legend ZA going to be running at 120 frames per second.
No.
No.
We'll
I
be
bet
lucky if
most
it hits
games won't
60.
be.
We'll be lucky if it hits 60.
I mean, I've already been negative enough on this game. I don't need to expand on that, but
Oh, I'll be
I
getting it
mean,
day one though.
at least well, I hope you enjoy it, but at least
I will.
at least they are giving it an upgrade for Switch 2, so it's not going to look exactly like the Switch version that they showed, which looked frames were dropping in that trailer for the original one, I remember. So I was like, well, hopefully the Switch 2 can make it a little better. So, but yeah, yeah.
Overall, though, I am really excited to replay some of these games. Like, I want to play Breath of the Wild again and Tears of the Kingdom with the Switch 2
Well,
enhancements.
speaking of Breath of the Wild, we kind of skipped over it a little bit, but I kind of liked that they added the side screen thing where it
on your
basically
phone?
shows you where Korok seeds are and stuff. I'm like, actually,
Yeah, that's cool.
I kind of like that little bit
That's
of
cheating.
it.
That's cheating.
Yeah, hype guy.
It's
I
cool,
don't.
though.
I didn't collect the
They
money.
also-
whatever.
They had a pretty cool feature for Tears of the Kingdom where like you could basically like if you build something cool, like they showed a dude built like some kind of cool vehicle, you can send a QR code to your friend and they scan the QR code and basically it'll download and put that vehicle that your friend put in your game. And then all of a sudden you can drive around and like in their creation. So that was a pretty cool functionality.
They also added not in-game achievements, but for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, specifically the Switch 2 version, on your phone there is like a pseudo achievement list that you can like check off. I think you can check it off manually when you do it, so it's not like an actual achievement list. But yeah, that was interesting.
I'm sure they'll add achievements right when Xbox adds a platinum trophy. So probably about the same day, which is
All right,
never.
so yeah. I am looking forward to replaying some of these games. But moving on, we got a brand new Nintendo IP here. It's called Drag X Drive. This is our wheelchair basketball game where we're moving around. It's kind of a weird name for wheelchair basketball, Drag X Drive. They should have called it like Wheelchair Basketball 25. That would have been great. I'm sure that would have gone over great with everyone. No, but yeah, Drag X Drive. You're kind of moving around in wheelchairs playing basketball. I don't know about you guys, but was wheelchair basketball ever really popular?
No, they missed an opportunity to do a collab with South Park. They could have had Timmy in there, like Timmy. That would have been funny. That would have been awesome. But yeah, the game looks stupid. Actually, the game itself looked, I guess, okay. It would have been cooler, I think, if they did it like a Mario Kart basketball, like you're in like carts and then like you're shooting or something. Like that would have been way cooler. Who wants to be? Who wants to be a handy capable basketball player? Nobody.
You know what they could have done? Just made a Mario basketball game. Like people have been asking for since the DS one came out, which is Mario Hoops 3-on-3, which was an atrocious game. But I played a lot of it because I wanted a Mario basketball game.
Yeah, the vibes that I got from this is that it's more of a tech demo to show off the dual mouses than it is really a game.
Yeah.
I doubt this will sell a lot, but you know, it's whatever. As far as the mouse functionality in general, I think it's mostly stupid, but there are implications where it could be cool. Like they did. We'll get to this later probably. So I'll mostly save it. But like for Civ 7, they showed that you can kind of operate it with a mouse, and that's the type of game that does lend itself very well to that type of control. So
I'm just.
Hodge, I just thought you were frozen for a second. You were like sitting there with your jaw open for probably like a minute. I thought you were frozen.
I'm just watching the gameplay demo and just
He's
my
so
mind
excited.
is blown of how just mid this game looks. But no, I agree. I didn't think about that, but I agree. It definitely looks like a tech demo type game. Just to say like here, like it's kind of like how ARMS felt like that way to me, or 1-2 Switch or whatever that one was called. Yeah. But the one thing I did like about it, I was just watching it, is that like when it's like the loading screen to say like 3 versus 3, when you have your things in your hand, you can like wave them, and your dude actually waves his arms like that. So it is kind of funny. I could see it being like a funnish game, but it's not Rocket League. It's not going to stick around forever. There's not going to be tournaments for this game. The one thing I did like that they announced though with the mouse thing is because I was kind of concerned about this. I'm like, I'm not going to be playing at a table, but they said like you can use your legs as like you can do it on your leg. I'm like, all right, at least you can sit on a couch and like do it on your leg or on the couch next to you or whatever.
I'll probably never use that mouse functionality unless unless it's mandatory for a Zelda or a Mario game. I'll probably never use it.
Like it seems like something like a Mario Party game where it's like hold your control like this. I'm like, okay, so this is a Mario Party game where I do this. Like I could, but I agree. It's like when they were like, oh, you can use it as a mouse. I'm like, what are you going on the internet? Like, who gives a shit? Why do I need it? But like you were saying for Civ 7, when we get to it, that'll be a good application.
Yeah, it could be good for like RTS type games and stuff
Yeah.
if they do that. Yeah,
Yeah, or like Mario Rabbids or whatever. I'm sure. I don't know how
yeah.
those games
Certain
work.
certain games like that control well with a mouse. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Next up, they showed some Elden Ring. They showed Elden Ring, so Elden Ring's coming to Switch. It wasn't the only FromSoft we saw, but yeah, Elden Ring coming to Switch. Switch 2. Should be
That's
interesting.
cool.
I'll be very curious to see how that performs, especially on Switch 2. They also showed Hades 2. Hodge, there you go. Hades 2 coming to Switch 2. I thought that was inevitable. I'm shocked it wasn't on Switch 1.
Yeah. Really quick with Elden Ring though. I don't ever want to hear anyone use the complaint of Xbox Series S is holding back shit, because I I've said this before, is in reality, I just think devs don't want to make games for Series S because not enough people have bought the system as compared to it can't run it. So I don't ever want to hear that excuse again. But the fact that Elden Ring's coming to Switch 2, that's pretty cool that they were able to get that to work. So I'm happy for those who, for some reason, would rather play it there than on literally any other console. But yeah, that's cool. But Hades 2, yes, I'm not going to play it on Switch 2. I'm going to play it on PlayStation, but I'm so excited for that game. I cannot wait for Hades 2. So I was happy to see it and happy for them to confirm that, yes, this game is still coming. So yes, love it.
I totally thought of you when I saw that Hades 2.
Love that game.
I was like, yeah, that's Hodge right there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
One of these days, maybe I'll play a Hades or a game like it. I've never really got into those roguelites much.
Yeah, they're just nice because you could definitely use that as a game you shuffle in with other games that you're playing. Like if you want to take a break from KCD or whatever, 100-hour game, you can hop in and do one run that it takes 20 to 30 minutes, and you can do one run and hop back over, take a break or whatever. So it's a great game for that, where it's like multiplayer games where you hop in and you just play a round or two and then you hop back off. Like it's really nice for something like that. But yeah, I cannot wait for Hades 2.
All right. They showed Street Fighter 6 with new Amiibo. The biggest thing I took away from this is that Amiibo are here to stay. We're going to be getting more Amiibo. I never played Street Fighter 6. Not a Street Fighter guy.
I
know
own one
none of us are
Amiibo.
really. I have a lot. I know none of us are really into
I got
fighting
my Kirby
games.
back
So
there.
it did include all the DLC as well, like all the Street Fighter 6 DLC. So that's going to be all included. That is going to be I'm pretty sure it's a day one Switch game. Anybody have any thoughts on Street Fighter 6?
I don't, but I want to just real quick. There was one I added recently, a game that's kind of Hades adjacent to my Steam wish list because I saw it on a freaking YouTube video that I watched. Like, 10 games you got to check out. I watch these videos sometimes like an idiot. But there's this game, Yasha Legends of the Demon Blade, that kind of looks like a JRPG weeby anime Hades, but actually looked really cool. So I added that to my wish list. So anyway, completely random. Street Fighter 6, I'm not a big fighting fan, so I don't care.
They also announced Daemon X Machina sequel. Never played the original, so I have zero interest in this.
It looked cool, just like as a game, but yeah, I'm not gonna play it. But just the look of it, I was like, oh, it looks like a pretty neat game. But yeah, I'm not. No.
What was the full title of this game?
They didn't announce the title. They said Daemon X Machina sequel.
There was a game that they announced that the title was so long and crazy that I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was going to make you say it 3 times, but I don't remember which one it was. So. Some of those crazy Japanese weird ass names. It's just a bunch of random words that they threw together and it's super long.
Well, they introduced Split Fictions coming to Switch 2. I think this will be great for that camera usage. And, we're sitting in different rooms with the camera going, yelling and screaming at each other. No, do this, do this, do that.
I feel like Split Fiction doesn't take as much telling someone what to do as you'd think. It's pretty straightforward.
It Takes Two does. It Takes Two does. So that's why I was just assuming.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and my brother, it's only been occasional. I guess we're both just decent gamers that know our way around a platformer. But yeah, I never felt like I had to be like, no, go this way. What are you doing? So I don't know. I love that game though. I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah.
They also added the EA. They announced the EA sports titles. FC and Madden will be coming day one to Switch. So we're going to be getting FC, whatever the current
Football
FIFA. I don't know.
club. Yeah,
Yeah, do they do a year ahead? Is it like Madden? They do 26 now. Will be
I
FC
think so.
26,
Yeah, I believe so.
and then
Probably.
Madden 26. Surprisingly, no college football.
I was going to mention that.
That was the biggest surprise to me. I
It'll
think
come later, I
eventually.
bet.
I think eventually it will. I think this kind of confirms that it won't be there this year because like Madden comes out usually after it, and they didn't even it wouldn't have taken a lot to just put a logo at the bottom. So yeah, surprising, interesting. I never really played a sports game on. I've never played like a licensed sports game like that on a Nintendo hardware, so probably won't.
MLB The Show is apparently on the current Switch, which I
I heard
find
it's
crazy.
horrendous. I heard it's
I
horrendous.
find that's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out to the Nintendrones. Get your sports gaming on, guys.
Yeah, I have the video going. So before you get into the next one, Hogwarts Legacy was also announced after that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that Hog Leg, which is on Switch 2. I mean, which is on Switch 1 regularly. That's another game I don't think they're doing a Switch 2 enhancement for. I think it's just a brand new
I'm watching the trailer, and obviously now the trailer's in 4K that it's not streaming anymore, and it looked pretty low resolution. So I don't know how well it's gonna do on it. But
shout out to Corey in the Discord. His favorite game ever.
Great game.
Good game. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Next up, they announced that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake, which comes out, I think it's in July, right? Yeah, it comes out in July, is coming to Switch 2 day one. So in addition to PS5 and Xbox Series X, it'll be coming to Switch. I think this will be a great game to play on Switch. Just pick up and go, handheld, run around as Bam Margera, and grinding around on rails in that cruise ship as Darth Maul. Hopefully they bring Darth Maul back. That was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know if they will.
Yeah, or the Neversoft eyeball skating as him.
Yeah.
I used to use Darth Maul a lot. Or
in the old games they had Spider-Man.
Yep, Darth Maul, Spider-Man, the eyeball, crazy stuff.
The fat cop, I can't remember what his name was.
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart, yeah. That was a fat cop.
You know what's really
hanging out.
Yeah. They also told us that Hitman, the entire Hitman World of Assassination, is coming to Switch 2. I love Hitman. It's so good. Did you guys ever play Hitman?
No, I've never played it. It does look cool though.
I mean, I think you would like it with like the simulator and like the real world scenarios, and you gotta aim your gun at a certain angle, and depending on what you do, things change. It's really good. Hitman 3 was my first one I played. I went back and played them all, especially when they added them to make them add the Switch Hitman mechanics in it. So I think this would be a cool game to play on Switch. On the go. But then they also announced that the James Bond game is coming. That who's developing it again? I can't even remember.
Hitman devs, IO Interactive.
IO.
So the people who made Hitman are making a James Bond game, which will probably be kind of somewhat similar to Hitman. It'd be cool.
Yeah, it should be pretty.
You guys
that
think
one I definitely will be hopping into.
Yeah. Do you guys think that game hits this year?
Oh, hell no. I think that game's probably 3-4 years away. They had literally nothing to show. It was just that it was in development. That's going to be years away.
Yeah, they were literally just saying that it's also coming to Switch. That's years away. They haven't shown anything. They literally just showed a logo. So yeah.
All right, then we got two Weebery games. We got Bravely Default, the original 3DS game, is coming out on Nintendo Switch 2. Enhanced, kind of like a little just a remaster. It's going to be on there day one.
So Sean,
yep.
I was going to say, so you're the mastery of Weebery. Is this a game that you played?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No,
because this is something that caught my eyes as a maybe game to play someday.
Here's the problem: Bravely Default. I'm trying to think where I can't remember what exact year it came out. Hang on.
I know it was on 3DS. I remember
it was on 3DS. Yeah, it came out in 2013 in the US. What day? February? No, it came out. Wait, did it come out? Oh, February 7th, 2014 in the US.
There you go.
Interesting. So that was my senior year of high school, and that might have been right around the time I was kind of just kind of getting ready for college. I already knew where I was going. It was in the middle of winter track season, and I think I tried it and I just couldn't get into it, and then I never went back to it. I will probably try it again. Probably not going to buy it day one, but it is like it's a. This was one of the first games that introduced like the concept of like you could you don't want random encounters, you can turn them off. This also introduced like, oh, you want to just fly through the game on journalism mode, here you get your limit automatically. It has that chibi art style too. So yeah, I don't know, I might check it out.
I might check it out one day.
Yeah. But Midnight, this is your game right here. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut coming to Switch. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You know, I am the big Yakuza fan of this podcast. I love RGG. I own them in the draft we did. Shout out to that. But yeah, no, this Yakuza 0 is a great game. Really good game. Highly recommend it to everyone. If you're ever, it is the first game, you know, canonically, whatever, chronologically. So if you know, that's where you want to jump in. If you're thinking about getting into the Yakuza games, you can just start with like the brand new ones if you want. But you know, if you want to go back, this is a great game. Takes place in like the 80s in Tokyo and Osaka. You play as both the main characters. You got, of course, Goro Majima, who's awesome. He's the pirate Yakuza one. And then, of course, the main character, Kazuma Kiryu. So it's an awesome story. It's really good. Apparently, this is the director's cut. They said it has new cutscenes. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's really new cutscenes or if they're talking about compared to like a previous Switch version. I don't know if there was a Switch version though. Who knows? But anyway.
No, it wasn't on Switch.
Okay,
No.
so it must have some kind of new cutscenes, but yeah, that's cool. I won't be playing it again because I already played it. But if you've never played it, it's a great game. It's a good game, so I recommend it.
All right. Then next up, they announced Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. It's a brand new Switch 2, you know, Dynasty Warriors like game. It's a sequel to Age of Calamity, the other Dynasty Warriors game. Honestly, if I was ever to play a Dynasty Warriors game, this would probably be the one I would play, like a Zelda one. And if Hyrule Warriors didn't get me in the original, and I don't think I will be playing this. My only experience with it, I tried it once at a friend's house. I played the Hyrule Warriors game on Wii U, and it was like, oh my god, it was so bad. It was like stuttering every 5 minutes, and like I don't really care about that stuff, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is like horrendous. It takes place right after Tears of the Kingdom, so interesting to where it fits in that crazy Zelda timeline. But I know Hodge is going to be all over this game.
I actually thought it looked kind of decent. I don't know anything about these games, but I don't know. It might just be the fact that I love that art style. I love the art style of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which is weird because I guess if I do get this system, a little side tangent, I'm going to play. Well, we'll get to it. Actually, I guess
You will get it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So, but yeah, I love the art style for this game, so I would be intrigued. But I don't know anything about Hyrule Warriors or what these games are about. So, yeah, that aspect I don't know. But I just love the look of these games, so I'm intrigued. But it's definitely not one where I'm like, ooh, day one.
Yeah, let's be real. You will get the Switch too. It's just a question of when. Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't have the discipline, just like me. I don't either.
Yeah,
we need our toys. We're gonna get it. Eventually.
I'm well aware that I'm a monkey brain new shiny thing kind of guy, but well, that's the thing is well, the Switch was the first Nintendo console I had owned since NES, I believe, not including Game Boys. So I hopped into it because Breath of the Wild looked that good that I was like, and I was getting FOMO with everyone talking about how much people were loving that game. So honestly, that's the thing. And of course, me with the FOMO, the amount of people in our Discord who are ordering it and are like, dude, I cannot wait for us to all play Mario Kart World together. I'm like, fuck, I want to do that. Like, I really want to play Mario Kart World with everyone. That'd be so much fun. But like I said, those criteria met. I'll pre-order one. But yeah, I will get one eventually. I'm not saying I won't get one eventually, but I'm saying at like launch, and I don't know when Hyrule Warriors comes out. So it's more of a. You're right. It's more of not an if, it's a when. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'll say that much about that game.
Yeah. So I saw this. They said it was like a prequel to Breath of the Wild story wise. So I was interested. I was like,
yeah, it said prequel leading into the story of
Breath of the Wild.
Of Breath of the Wild, yeah.
So I was like, that's pretty cool. And then they showed that it was a Musou. It was like a Warriors game, and I was like, oh, Okay, I'm not really that interested then. Although, strangely enough, I do have like this faint interest of playing Dynasty Warriors, the new one that just
Oh
came
yeah,
out,
that new one
Origins
that
or
just came out.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I have really no interest in Warriors games usually. So anyway, that's all for me.
All right, next up, this got me pretty excited. Was the Nintendo Switch Online is adding GameCube games. Woo! They're adding a lot of games actually. Super Mario Sunshine, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon Gale XD of Darkness. Those two games are freaking awesome. They're also adding Chibi Robo. I cannot believe we're adding Chibi Robo. That is hilarious. They're adding Fire Emblem. What's the one for game? Radiant Dawn. Radiant Dawn.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I figured you would be. You haven't played that, so you'll probably like it.
No.
They're also adding Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which kind of makes me think we'll never get that Wii U version, which is devastating because that Wii U version is like it's so. I love the GameCube version of Twilight Wind Waker, but it is so difficult to go back to that and play it after you play the Wii U version because of the quality of life enhancements in the Wii U one. So never say never with Nintendo. Would not shock me if they decided, we're gonna sell the Wii U enhanced version for $70,
They will.
or 80, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't shock me. But I am excited that they're adding these GameCube games because the GameCube is a phenomenal Nintendo console with a lot of great games, and I'm really one of them is Soul Calibur 2 they're adding, which had Link on the GameCube version, which is awesome. I played so many hours of that game. So I'm excited to see what else they add. Hopefully we get our poor man Zelda Star Fox Adventures added to that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the GameCube. I didn't own one. So that's cool though. I'm excited about Fire Emblem. I'll probably play that one day. And I wonder if they'll put Resident Evil 4 on there because that was one of their that was a huge GameCube game back then. I know that.
I bet you they will. And then they'll make a
can
new
see
one
it.
for it. And then RE4 Remake will come to it too.
Well, I know it's gonna be the countdown of when are they adding Melee, so that's gonna be the big one. But no. So what I was saying earlier, but then I stopped myself because I knew we were gonna get to this. Is I always disliked the Wind Waker art style, but I feel like now I want to try it, especially after just loving
so
Breath
good.
of the Wild and
The art style is so good.
I'm not huge on it, but I am an animation person, so who knows? Maybe it's better than I also grew up with, I didn't play them. I grew up with what the OG Legend of Zelda and then Ocarina of Time of Majora's Mask looked like, and so I always liked that art style. So when they're like, all right, now we're going with this weird cell shading like Child Link, I'm like, that's kind of.
It's
weird
awesome.
looking.
You're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it.
I'm sure I will. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I'm excited to go into it because I did as a kid just let the look of it just stop me from ever even I mean, I didn't own a GameCube, so it's not like I could have played it anyway. But yeah, I just never had any desire to play it. But now that it's coming to that GameCube version, it's like, oh, that is sweet. And the controller that they're going to be selling, I'm like, I'm definitely going to get one of those if I do. Once I do have the system, because I have the N64 controllers for the Switch, so when I play N64 games on it, I can use an actual controller. And I want to get the SNES and NES ones too, but I'll get those eventually. But yeah, and I know the GameCube controller, it's still like the one that everyone prefers when playing Smash Brothers and stuff. Like it's the controller everyone loves. So I know those things are going to sell like crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, I still have my original GameCube controllers.
There you go.
Which they did clarify that you will be able to use them on Switch too with the little enhancement
little adapter thing.
Yeah,
nice.
which I still have. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm really excited for more GameCube games to be added. Next up, they announced Deltarune chapters 1 through 4 coming out day 1. I have never played Undertale. I think the art style looks freaking awesome though, and I really want to play it. And this looked really cool. I don't know. Is this just like a spiritual successor, or is it an actual sequel? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Don't even know this game.
I thought that the trailer was like very whimsical and like calming and peaceful. So I don't know, I'll probably never play it though. I never played Undertale either. Yeah, but it looks cool. It does look interesting.
I liked the little mascot bear guy being weird. I liked that. Yeah, I don't know anything about these games though, so you're just talking to the wrong guy with that one.
Next up, they announced Civ 7 coming to Switch with that mouse
Whoa,
enhancement controls.
you skipped over one.
Borderlands 4? Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, Randy was super excited.
Yeah.
He's like, Borderlands 4 is coming to Switch. You got to give him props for his excitement.
Yeah, and he was up there looking like Elton John singing.
Yeah, he was. He was looking weird.
Yeah.
Or looking like Mark Cerny or whatever at PlayStation.
Oh.
Who looks like Elton John.
Borderlands 4, I will not be playing this ever. And if I were to play it, it wouldn't be on Switch.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be on Switch. It'd be on PS5 Pro or PC. But anyway, sorry, carry on with Civ.
Civ 7, they're going to use the mouse controls with the, mouse controller on the Switch 2. I've never played a Civ game, but I know so many people are friggin' loving Civ 7 right now. So I'll be interested to see how it does on Switch. I know the other Civ games are on Switch, but now with the added mouse control, it'll be interesting to see how it performs compared to the other console versions.
Yeah, I know Hodge is going to plplay this. Hodge, you excited about Civ 7?
Yeah, I can't contain my excitement. You can't tell.
Yeah, I've tried to get into Civ games before. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit too stupid for these games because I grasp like 88%, maybe 92% of the systems and the stuff, but there's just something that I'm missing to where like I've just never like that great at these games, and like I just feel like I'm always kind of weak and underpowered. But I mean, it's cool, but I won't be playing it. So.
Next up, from one of your favorite devs, we have Cyberpunk 2077, including the what's the DLC called? Midnight City or Liberty?
I forget.
Well, whatever the DLC that's including in that, coming to Switch 2, going to be running natively. Phantom Liberty, yeah. Going to be running natively on Switch 2. I immediately thought of you, Midnight. Midnight, you going to replay it if you get it?
I will not be replaying it, but this game is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm just not a person who really likes to replay games. I feel like that's a waste of time. I know it's probably not. I mean, if it's a game that you love, you're not wasting time, right? But for me, I feel like if I'm going to play a game again, I just rather play something new personally, usually. Mm-hmm. But this is a fantastic game. I highly recommend it to literally everybody, especially if you're an RPG fan. One of the best games ever made. One of my favorite games of all time. CD Projekt Red is arguably my favorite studio right now. They were my number one draft pick, so this was awesome. And I actually think that this will run quite well on Switch 2 because they did a lot of good work with optimization in their 800 patches that they did. So I think this will be a good experience for people.
Well, yeah, they already optimized it for Xbox One, so you just got to use that one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. People should play this game if they haven't. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of a game that everyone should play, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to Switch 2, but not Xbox. It's coming to Switch 2 before Xbox. I did not see this coming. I was really excited when this came up. I will be getting this the second it releases on Switch 2. Any excuse to replay Final Fantasy VII Remake, I will do. Especially with that DLC, the Intergrade DLC. It's going to be interesting to see how that door looks on the Switch too. We get that N64 looking door on Nintendo hardware again. I am excited for this. Go back into that world. That world's awesome. We've spoken to death about Final Fantasy VII Remake, but it is really cool to see it on Switch.
And shout out to Yuffie, my favorite character. The Intergrade DLC is part of this. So, great. Dude, this is an awesome game, dude. Again, I don't replay games, but if I was going to replay a game, this would be one that I would replay because what an awesome game. And the DLC was also awesome. So definitely play this if you haven't, guys.
Yeah, honestly, the most exciting part about that announcement was that it's no longer under Sony's ownership, basically. So that means that an Xbox version is definitely incoming because obviously Phil's been playing nice with Square Enix recently in those last few years. So I think those and like Final Fantasy 16 and stuff, they'll all become an Xbox eventually. But I just liked that this was kind of opening the door to no, Sony does not any longer completely own the Final Fantasy remake trilogy. So I just like that more people can get their hands on it.
I'm guessing at the Xbox Summer Showcase, it will show up there and they'll be like, and it's available right now.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. Yeah.
That's
within the next 12 months, I think it'll be on Xbox.
Yeah. Next up, Silksong coming 2025. Look at
They're
that.
still saying that. They're still
They're
claiming it.
still saying it. They showed it. They showed it looks a lot more like Hollow Knight, but I am really excited for this because Hollow Knight is such a good game. It'll be good for my our fantasy draft as well. If this hits, I will be above the moon with this game, and I think it will hit. This is going to come out. It's going to come out in September. It's going to be great. Maybe in October, get a little spooky vibe. But Silksong, go play Hollow Knight if you haven't played Hollow Knight. Get ready for Silksong. This game's going to be amazing. It's going to be a GOATY contender. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, it's got to be coming because there's no way they would come out and say 2025 again after being silent for so long. They would just say like TBD or like it's coming kind of. They wouldn't say 2025 if it's not 2025 at this point, I think at least.
Yeah, for fantasy reasons, I'm just going to have to be a hater and say that I hope this game comes out. I hope this game comes out on January 3rd of 2026, Sean. That way you don't get any credit because you are dominating the fantasy league right now, and you need to be knocked down a peg, my friend. So you got to. I hope this doesn't come out this year. Just to be a fantasy hater, but for actual gamers and people, I hope it does come out, and I'm sure it'll be awesome. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Next up, we got a slew of like 4 titles. We got Star Wars Outlaws, Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess, Wild Hearts S, and Fast Fusion. These PS5/Xbox Series X games are coming to Switch too. They were not on the original Switch. Be interested to see how they do. I have zero interest in any of these games. I know Star Wars Outlaws was considered like some people really liked it, other people really hated it. So yeah, it should be interesting to see. I mean, it's Star Wars, so I think they're just kind of throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. That Star Wars franchise. I'm so over Star Wars though now. It's like it's terrible. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple bars here. So Star Wars Outlaws is a game that I do intend to play in the future, within the next year probably. I want to play it. I like Star Wars kind of. I just don't like all the crap that Disney's putting out. But I like the concept of Star Wars, and I like that this is a game that doesn't feature the Jedi. So I think that's interesting, and I will probably play it. And Fast Fusion, I will not play, but when I saw that, I was like, is this like a new F-Zero type game? It was given major F-Zero vibes. So I thought that's cool because I like F-Zero as a kid. Kid Midnight liked F-Zero. But yeah, that's all I got. Hodge, did you have bars on this?
I'm just surprised that they announced. I mean, I guess I'm not too surprised because they want to sell as many copies as they can. But I was surprised to see Outlaws purely for the reason that it was not running well on old systems. So the fact that they're getting it run on this is, I guess somewhat impressive. But yeah, I was just surprised to see it for that reason. But no, I mean, it's cool. Like I said, this was the part of the direct where it's just like, here's a bunch of ports that are coming that have already existed. So just like any other Nintendo direct. So my brain was kind of shutting off a little bit, and it was getting near the end when I had to get ready for work. So I wasn't paying attention too much, but yeah, I'm just like, yeah, okay. We got some more games coming. If it's not a Nintendo announcement, I'm a little more sleepy on it, but yeah, I'm happy that if these games are coming out and people want to play them, awesome. But
all right. So next up, they just real quick, Ridge Racer Arcade coming to Switch to zero interest.
I
don't know.
All
right, but next up, pretty crazy. We got another FromSoft game, brand new, exclusive to this Nintendo Switch 2, Duskbloods. This looked very much like Bloodborne, but this is comes with a caveat: multiplayer only. It's PvP/PvE. Duskbloods, FromSoft multiplayer game. That's 2 straight consecutive multiplayer games, but the head of FromSoft did come out and say that they are saying that they are still focused on single player games. But it's really interesting that they would do this on a Nintendo console. They're going to make this Nintendo exclusive, yet it is multiplayer only.
Money talks.
Yeah. The I was really surprised to see that it was exclusive to, because I was like, because doesn't Sony own part of FromSoft now? Like, aren't they?
They own like the parent company, a little bit of the parent company.
Yeah, they're on the board of Kadokawa or whatever.
But like everyone's kind of on the board of something these days.
Yeah, okay.
They don't have a controlling interest at all, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was just like, that's odd to see Switch of all. Like, obviously it's a popular ecosystem, but I was like, really, I don't think of Nintendo when I think of FromSoft, but I mean, well, if people want it, but I do like that you said that the guy came out. I was like, no, we're still focused on single player because you know that the second this happened and they're like, it's multiplayer, everyone's rolled their eyes. It's like, guys, seriously, we we have single player coming out too. Don't, it's okay. We're not dropping the ball that much. So, I mean, if people want to play this, cool. But as everyone knows, I'm not a FromSoft person. I don't care, and I'm definitely going to care less about uh, a PvP VE game. So I was just funny when we were talking with everyone while this was happening. I was like, is this the FromSoft Castlevania game or something? I was like, I don't know anything about Castlevania, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I don't. This whatever. If people enjoy this game, cool. But I don't care.
I would say if this was a single player game, I would be super excited. Like I would be fully erect right now. But the fact that it is multiplayer PvPvE, that is a huge turnoff to me. Kind of like earlier with Zelda when I was like, oh, and then I saw it was a Muso. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I'm soft now. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think it looks cool. I think it looks pretty awesome. I like the little vampire vibes. But it's not single player, so there's a pretty good chance, probably like a 70% chance that I will not play this. But if it was single player, it would be about 100% chance that I would play it. So anyway,
Yeah. I'll wait for the next FromSoft single player game. I still got to play Elden Ring anyway. Moving on, we got. I could not freaking believe this happened. Like I've spoken so long about Kirby Air Ride on this podcast about how much I freaking love Kirby Air Ride. It's the only Kirby game I've played, and I just freaking adore it. I even said before the direct, someone asked me, "What's your like pie in the sky like?" It's not gonna happen, but you would freak out. I go, "Oh, Kirby Air Ride sequel! It freaking happened!" Kirby Air Riders coming in 2025, confirmed for later this year. I cannot freaking believe this. We didn't get much on it, but guys, we're living in a world where Kirby Air Ride is getting a sequel 21 years later after it came out. I am so freaking hyped for this game. This is gonna be, it's gonna be amazing. I have so many thoughts about like what are they going to do? Like, are they going to introduce multiple maps for city trial? Like, what are the new boards they're going to introduce? They going to introduce different characters other than Kirby. I just can't believe this is real. Like, I honestly cannot believe this is happening. I never thought this would happen in a million years.
Well, as you know, I love Kirby. He's one of my favorite. I always play as him in Smash Brothers games. I loved Kirby, the old NES game. I loved Forgotten Land. I don't know anything about these, but what I thought was weird was that they would show or tease a new. Is this a racing game or is it just like a Twisted Metal type
it's
game?
weird. There is a racing element to the game, but the really popular mode was called City Trial, and that was essentially there would be like you're in like a giant arena, and like you're in a city basically, and you have like a timer of 7 minutes, and some random events might occur, like you know the Dino Bird from the old Kirby game. One of the old Kirby games, like the giant Dino Bird might land, and you guys can team up and try to take him down. But you could collect power ups and collect different boards during the game. Like you get like plus attack, plus speed, plus health, stuff like that. And then at the end of the 7 minutes, there would be some type of event at the end, and then like it might be a race, it might be a high jump contest, it might be a target flight, it might be like fight a bunch of enemies, and whoever had the highest score would win that. It was really cool. It was really an interesting game. That was like the main popular mode, but there was a racing element to it, but it's very different than Mario Kart, like extremely different. Nowhere near like Mario Kart.
Okay, then that changes what I'm thinking, because I was thinking about like it's weird that they would show off Mario Kart World and then let this get drowned. If it was a racing game, let it get drowned out by like the more popular racing game. But if it's not
very different.
Yeah, okay. If it's not the same, then that makes sense. But is Masahiro Sakurai like a big name?
Yeah, he's a Smash Bros guy.
Okay. Because they at the end they show like director him. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I had heard his name. I didn't know who he was, but it's a name I'd heard. So
he's he invented Kirby. Kirby's always his like go-to. That's why in every single Smash Brothers reveal trailer, like the first ever reveal of Smash, Kirby's always in it. Hodge, you know, like you've played Smash Brothers obviously, but you played Smash Ultimate, right?
Yeah, how you start as Kirby to unlock
Yeah,
everyone
but
else.
you know, like the menu system, like the design of the menus, like that art
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
And say, did you ever play Super Smash Bros. Brawl on Wii?
I played it a little bit in college with some
Well,
friends.
basically any Smash game after that was released after Kirby Air Ride, so Brawl, Wii U, all that, all the menus came from like the design of like Kirby Air Ride. Like that's where he came
Oh,
up with those menus. Yeah, it's
okay.
much cleaner. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm so
Okay.
hyped.
That makes sense. Because, yeah, when they showed off the name, I was like, this guy, it has to be a big name because it was like, Masahiro Sakurai. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
All
nothing
right.
to say on that.
And then we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, a 3D Donkey Kong game. The first 3D platforming Donkey Kong game since DK64. I'm pretty excited for this. I'm not the biggest Donkey Kong guy. I like Tropical Freeze. Like I like the original country games, like I said when I went back to them and played them. But I do not like Donkey Kong's new design. But this looks pretty cool though. He's running around, he has pants on, he's banging the floor looking for bananas. I'm really interested, and it's coming out quite soon, a lot quicker than I thought. July 17th. What do you guys think of this Donkey Kong Bonanza?
Hodge, you want to go?
Sure. I was a little disappointed seeing it just because I was expecting something different. So it's on myself for having different expectations. I can't blame the show for not showing something I was expecting. But yeah, I've never cared about DK outside of the Donkey Kong Country games either. So I mean, obviously I love platformers, so I'm sure it'll be fun, but just kind of watching it, I'm like, I don't care right now. So if it reviews well and it is a fun platformer, I might hop into it eventually. But yeah, I've never cared about Donkey Kong, so it doesn't do anything for me unless Seth Rogen's voicing him, and then I'm gonna love it. But no, kidding.
Oh, I hate it. What I am what I'm really interested in is supposedly, I guess it's never been confirmed, but the team that worked on Mario Odyssey is supposedly developing this game.
Okay, yeah, Mario
So
Odyssey is one of my favorite platformers I've played in a very long time. So yeah, I mean, it is cool that it's basically like you can smash anything. So like it's a very open game in that sense. So I think it could be fun, but yeah, I just don't care about Donkey Kong. So this is one of those that's going to come down purely to gameplay over everything because I'm not going to ever care about Donkey Kong or his world. So if the gameplay's fun, I will hop into it eventually. But as the one more thing kind of thing, I was like, well, that's one way to end it, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah, there are worse ways to end it.
Yeah.
It's a decent looking game. I don't care about Donkey Kong or platformers too much, so I probably won't play this unless it is somehow super incredible, but probably not. So, but cool. That's it.
yeah, and that was the direct. Overall, I'll be getting a Switch 2 day one whenever the pre-orders go live since they were canceled the other day. Um, but yeah, hopefully the pre-orders go up soon. Hopefully everyone who wants one gets one. But yeah, that was our thoughts on the direct, guys. Nintendo Switch 2,
With
June 5th.
with the pre-orders going being delayed, I might have news on one of my conditions for pre-ordering it with the delay. So we will see. Maybe I will be pre-ordering it like I said, if those conditions are met, I will pre-order one. But I have one of them done already, but the other four need to be hit. So yeah, overall, I know I was very negative about this. Like, in terms of it being a Nintendo console, it's basically what we expected. It's just an iteration on the Switch. It's just improving because honestly, the Switch is even though it is underpowered, and that's a very good criticism or fair criticism of it. It is still very revolutionary in what it does, where it is literally, obviously because of the name, you switch between handheld and TV, and that is such a cool thing. And so like I can't hate on them for any of that. It's really the game prices, and I'm just not the biggest Nintendo person, so obviously a lot of stuff doesn't land as hard as me. But I'm happy for those who are happy about this system, and I hope that it's awesome, which I think it will be. But like again, it's the prices stuff that's kind of stupid. But yeah, it was a good direct, other than the news that came out after of why didn't they show the prices? Oh, that's why, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll give my final thoughts for the direct. Yeah.
I liked it.
My only real negative was the game pricing. I think everything else is fine. Hardware pricing completely reasonable, I feel.
That
I'll probably get it.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty big upgrade in many ways, so I'm excited. I will get it. Don't know if I'll get it day one, but I will get it within, I'm sure, the first year. We'll see. I might get it day one. We will see. And that's it for me.
Yeah. And those are our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct too. So before we head out, just a reminder, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on all the different podcast apps, subscribe to us, leave us a comment, leave us a review. All feedback is wanted. So, final thoughts. Everybody say goodbye, guys. Midnight.
Goodbye. I don't really have any final thoughts. I already said it. Shout out to you guys all. Love you all. Shout out to Nintendo. My cat's excited. Goodbye, everyone. That's my thoughts.
Me now?
Yeah.
Me do talk now?
You do talkie now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down and watch more Cobra Kai. Since I was sick, I watched the first 2 seasons over the last 2 days, so I've obsessed with this show. So I'm gonna go watch more Cobra Kai. And
go throat coat. Coat your throat.
Coat my throat in
do that.
Happiness. Yeah. I got nothing else.
All right.
I'm just happy to do this and happy we finally know what the Switch 2 is. So
For sure. All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Sean, you don't have a quip today? Okay.
No, I'm hosting. No quips when I'm hosting.